one thing that you're not going to find in space is large life forms. They're just not efficient. You won't find them really in space. I mean, most life forms are small, fast, nimble. Like I say, most of my life forms were only about 3 foot tall or 1.5 foot tall. The 1.5 foot tall little min is an example. Like I said, it's more universal. They can work in most environments. They can get into small spaces, and they use less resources. And they also can deal with larger gravities, like 12 gravities or 8 gravities, or something about like that, just fine. So they're efficient, and so. And plus, as far as brain and capability of thinking, well, with a little augmentation, they are more than smarter than or smart enough. They were great little things and great little life forms. Like I say, I love them. They were wonderful. They're my little guys. You know, it's like my crew. You know, anyway, they were wonderful, and I think they love me too, and I love them very much as well. Great little life forms. Very loyal, very fast, very effective, and some of my great little life forms. I had doubt with them at one point in time, but it wasn't really them, it was somebody else. And the exoskeletons just basically dealt with the problem pretty well. You know, that's one of the great things about having lots of life forms around you, is that if one of them is acting a little off, you know, the other life forms will be like, what's going on with that one? And it turned out it was an outside influence on it, and basically they dealt with the outside influence, and my little guys were okay. I love them very much. Like I said, they're very loyal, very good little guys, very simple. Well, not really simple. I mean, they can be very complicated. I forget how they work, if they're a hive mind or what. But anyway, so you're not going to get big, tall life forms that are like 9 foot tall life forms going around. I mean, unless it's like an exoskeleton or some sort of some sort of power armor or something like that. But usually, or it has long legs, basically. But pretty much, which is kind of inefficient in itself. I mean, you got to think about. I mean, that's one of the things that people always would make a mistake of, and they really did in the past, was making up all these things about stories about other life forms and stuff like that. It's like, not really. I mean, you're not really going to get any of these outrageous, crazy things because, I mean, it's just not efficient. It's like, why? You know, it's like designing a tiger tank that weighs like 1,000 pounds. You're probably not going to get it because it's going to get stuck within 5 feet anyway. So unless you want to do like a mobile, great big, huge command gun turret, and even then it just gets stuck. You know, I mean, I think my biggest things were basically the launch vehicles that were pretty much the what's called that the space shuttle uses, and there were originally like 9 of those, I think, or something like that, and they were actually for moving something great big huge around, like a great big earth mover. You know, it would move on the tracks, and there's this great big thing that would sit on top of it or something else like that. I forget what I used those for, but something. Anyway, though, and they were able to deal with large amounts of weight and stuff, and I think there were like 9 of them or something like that originally, and then we melted them down. I mean, a lot of times with metal, you smelt it for this, you smelt it for that, you move and change, and unless it really means something to you, you don't really keep it, because it's like, well, you know, just resmelt it into something else and get that metal back. But I mean, realistically, as you get more and more energy and more this and more that, it's like, well, you know, you can keep a few things. You know, like my LSF 71 spaceships and my LSF spaceship, also known as the ALSF-A spaceship. By the way, like I say, the first colony ship for humanity. Colonized 36 of the humanoid colonies, and basically out there in space everywhere. And like I've said before, that's why Nixon and JFK and the USF force wanted to basically isolate Earth so badly, is because, you know, they knew who I was. Everyone knew who I was. Everyone knows who the LSF spaceship it was, the colony ship. It's huge, and it was basically well known throughout the galaxy and the universe. So basically they wanted to isolate the Earth.